This is not just another Monday. Something has already begun in your life. Pause for a moment, feel that. Because deep down, you already know something is different. You woke up today with a strange energy. Maybe you couldn't explain it. Maybe it felt subtle. Maybe it even felt overwhelming. But something inside you shifted. Something ancient, something divine, something that has been preparing you for this exact moment. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. April 7th and 8th are not ordinary days in your life story. These are the days where the invisible begins to become visible. The days where everything you've been through, the pain, the confusion, the waiting, the silent battles no one ever saw, start to make sense in a way they never have before. You didn't come across this message by accident. Out of billions of people, you are here, watching this, feeling this, because you were meant to hear it now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Now, there has been a shift happening behind the scenes of your life. While you were doubting yourself, while you were questioning why things weren't working out, while you felt like you were stuck in cycles that refused to break, something greater was being orchestrated, and now it's beginning to surface. You are stepping into a new era, not a small change, not a slight improvement, a complete shift, the kind of shift that changes how you see yourself, the kind that breaks old patterns that once held you hostage, the kind that pulls you out of places you thought you'd be stuck in forever. This is the kind of shift that doesn't ask for permission. It arrives when divine timing says you are ready. And whether you feel ready or not, it has already begun. Think about everything you've been through recently. The isolation, the moments where people misunderstood you, the times when doors closed without explanation, the delays that frustrated you, the lessons that hurt. None of it was random. You were being separated before you could be elevated. Because the life you are stepping into cannot be carried by the same mindset, the same habits, or the same people who belonged to your past. Something had to break. Something had to fall apart. Something had to end so that something far greater could begin. And now, here you are, right at the edge of it. You may feel it as a quiet knowing, or maybe it feels like chaos. Sometimes the biggest blessings arrive disguised as confusion. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs are preceded by moments where everything feels uncertain. But don't mistake the feeling of uncertainty for being lost. You are not lost. You are transitioning. There is a reason your spirit has been restless, a reason you can no longer tolerate what you once accepted, a reason certain people feel distant now, even if they haven't physically left your life, a reason your desires are changing, your thoughts are evolving, and your vision is expanding. You are outgrowing your old reality, and growth like this, it's not comfortable. It stretches you, it challenges you, it forces you to confront parts of yourself you once ignored, but it also unlocks a version of you that you've never experienced before. A stronger you, a clearer you, a chosen you who finally understands their worth, their purpose, and their power. This shift is not just about what you gain, it's also about what you release. You are being called to let go of doubt, to release fear, to walk away from anything that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. And yes, that might feel difficult. It might feel like you're losing something. But what you are gaining is far greater. Because where you are going, you cannot carry the weight of your past identity. This new era requires a new version of you. And that version is already awakening. You might notice it in the way you think, the way you respond, the way you no longer chase things that once consumed you, the way your intuition has become stronger, clearer, louder. That's not random. That's preparation. You are being equipped for something bigger than you imagined. Opportunities you didn't expect are going to start appearing. Connections that feel aligned, not forced. Moments where things just click, in a way they never did before. Doors that open without struggle, without resistance. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. Not everyone will understand this version of you. Not everyone will celebrate your shift. Some people will question it. Some will doubt it. Some will even try to pull you back into the version of you they are comfortable with. But you cannot go back, because once you've been chosen to evolve, there is no returning to who you used to be. This is your time. Not next week, not someday. Now, everything is aligning for you in ways you cannot yet fully see. The delays were not denials. The silence was not abandonment. The confusion was not punishment. It was preparation. And now the preparation phase is ending. You are entering activation. This is where things start moving. This is where clarity replaces confusion. This is where you begin to see why everything had to happen the way it did. And when it does, you'll realize that nothing was wasted. Every tear had a purpose. Every setback carried a lesson. Every moment of doubt was shaping you into someone who could handle what is coming next. Because what is coming next is not small. It is not ordinary. It is not something everyone will experience. It is something reserved for those who endured, who stayed, who believed, even when it was hard, even when it didn't make sense, even when everything inside them wanted to give up. And you didn't give up. That's why you're here. That's why this message found you. That's why this shift is happening in your life right now. So don't ignore it. Don't doubt it. Don't shrink back into your old self just because the new path feels unfamiliar. Step into it. Trust it. Embrace it. Because everything is about to change. What you are about to step into is not ordinary, and not everyone is ready for it. This is not just another Monday. Something has already begun in your life. Before you clicked on this video, something pulled you here. Not randomly, not by chance, not just curiosity. There was a whisper, subtle, almost unnoticeable, but strong enough to guide you to this exact moment. And if you're honest with yourself, you've been feeling it for a while now. That quiet tension in your spirit. That sense that something is about to break, or maybe finally come together. You've been standing on the edge of something you can't fully explain. And now, April 7th and 8th, they mark the moment where everything starts to shift. Not gradually, not slowly, but in a way that will feel almost unreal. This is the kind of shift that makes you look back and say, that was the moment everything changed. But here's the truth, it didn't start today. This began long before you even realized it. Every delay you experienced, every closed door, every night you questioned yourself, your path, your purpose, it was all leading here. You were being positioned, not punished, redirected, not rejected, because what's about to enter your life required a different version of you. And that version has been forming in silence. You see, while everyone else saw you as stuck, God saw you as being prepared. While you felt like you were losing time, heaven was aligning timing. While you thought things were falling apart, something unseen was coming together with precision you couldn't comprehend. And now the shift is no longer hidden. It's beginning to show itself. You may feel it as a sudden clarity, like things that once confused you are now making sense. Or maybe it feels like pressure, like everything is changing at once and you're struggling to keep up. That's how transformation feels. It doesn't always come peacefully. Sometimes it comes like a storm, rearranging everything in your life so that what truly belongs can finally take its place. And you were chosen for this. Not because you're perfect, not because you had everything figured out, but because you endured. You stayed when it was easier to walk away. You believed when it felt impossible. You kept going even when there were no signs, no confirmation, no visible progress. That kind of faith, that kind of resilience, it doesn't go unnoticed. And now it's being rewarded. But understand this clearly. This new era you're stepping into will require you to leave something behind. Old habits, old mindsets, old attachments. There are things you've been holding on to that cannot follow you into what's coming next. And deep down, you already know what they are. You've felt the distance. You've sensed the disconnection. You've noticed how certain things no longer feel right, no longer feel aligned. That's not loss, that's release. Because what's ahead of you demands space. Space for growth, space for clarity, space for blessings that won't fit into the life you used to live. And here's where it gets intensy. This shift will not be comfortable. There will be moments where you question everything, moments where you feel like you're in between worlds. The old one no longer fits, and the new one hasn't fully formed yet. That in-between space, that's where transformation happens. That's where identity is rewritten. That's where the version of you that's been waiting beneath the surface finally rises. And when it does, you won't recognize yourself anymore. In the best way possible, you'll think differently, move differently, speak differently. You'll stop settling for less. You'll stop chasing what was never meant for you. You'll start attracting what aligns with your true purpose. And people will notice. Some will be inspired, some will be confused, some will distance themselves. But none of that matters, because this journey was never meant to be understood by everyone. It was meant to be lived by you. Right now, there is something activating within you. A deeper awareness, a stronger intuition, a clearer sense of direction. Even if you can't fully explain it yet, you're not imagining it. You're awakening. And with that awakening comes responsibility. To trust yourself more. To listen to that inner voice you once ignored. To walk boldly, even when the path isn't fully visible. Because where you're going requires faith over fear. This is not the time to hesitate. This is not the time to shrink. This is the time to step forward, even if your voice shakes, even if your mind doubts, even if your surroundings haven't caught up to what you feel inside. Because they will. Everything is about to catch up. The effort you put in, the growth you went through, the lessons you learned. It's all about to reflect back to you in ways that will leave you speechless. Doors will open, answers will come, opportunities will align. And when they do, you'll realize why everything had to unfold exactly the way it did. There will be no more confusion, only confirmation. So don't resist this shift. Don't question why it's happening now. Don't try to control every detail. Just allow it, trust it, walk with it. Because this moment, these days, they are not ordinary chapters in your life story. They are the turning point. The moment where the old version of you fades, and the true version of you steps forward with power, clarity, and purpose. And once that happens, there is no going back. What you are about to step into is not ordinary, and not everyone is ready for it. This is not just another Monday. Something has already begun in your life. You didn't just stumble onto this message. You were led here. There is a reason your mind feels different today. A reason your spirit feels stirred, like something unseen is calling your name. You may not have the words for it yet, but you can feel it. That quiet pull, that inner knowing, that sense that something in your life is about to change permanently. This is divine timing. April 7th and 8th are not just dates on a calendar, they are a doorway. A crossing point between who you used to be and who you are about to become. And whether you fully understand it or not, you are already stepping through it. Look at your life lately. Things haven't felt normal, have they? Certain situations became uncomfortable. Certain people started drifting away. Things that once made sense no longer do. It's like something within you has been rejecting your old reality, even if your mind tried to hold on to it. That's not confusion. That's transformation. You are being pulled out of a version of your life that can no longer contain who you're becoming. And yes, it feels intense. Because real change doesn't ask for permission, it demands surrender. There have been nights where you questioned everything. Moments where you felt like you were losing control. Times when you wondered if you were falling behind, while everyone else seemed to be moving forward. But what you didn't see was what was happening behind the scenes. While you felt stuck, you were actually being protected. While you felt delayed, you were being positioned. While you felt alone, You were being separated for a purpose far greater than you could imagine, because what's coming into your life now requires alignment. Not just external alignment, but internal alignment. Your mindset, your energy, your identity, everything had to shift. And now it is. This is the beginning of a new era in your life. Not a small upgrade, not a temporary phase, a complete reset. The kind of reset that redefines how you see yourself. The kind that breaks chains you didn't even realize were holding you back. The kind that opens doors you once thought were permanently closed. But here's what most people don't understand about shifts like this. They don't always feel like blessings at first. Sometimes they feel like endings, like loss, like confusion, like everything you once relied on is being taken away. But what's actually happening is that everything misaligned is being removed. Because you cannot carry your old self into your new life. You've outgrown it. That version of you, the one who doubted, the one who settled, the one who questioned their worth, that version is fading. And in its place, something stronger is rising. A version of you that knows who they are, knows what they deserve, knows that they were never meant to live a small, limited life. And once that knowing locks in, everything changes. You start moving differently. You stop chasing validation. You stop forcing connections. You stop accepting less than what aligns with your purpose. And suddenly things begin to flow. Not because life got easier, but because you got clearer. That's what this shift is doing. It's clearing the fog. It's removing distractions. It's sharpening your vision so you can finally see what's been waiting for you all along. And here's the powerful part. This isn't happening to everyone. Not everyone is experiencing this level of awakening. Not everyone is being called to rise like this, because not everyone was chosen to carry what you're about to step into. You were. That's why your journey has been different. That's why you've faced challenges others couldn't understand. That's why you've had to grow in ways that felt unfair, uncomfortable, even painful. Because you were being prepared for something greater. And now preparation is turning into manifestation. You may start noticing small signs first, moments of clarity, unexpected opportunities, conversations that shift your perspective, doors opening where there used to be walls. Pay attention to those moments. They are not random. They are confirmation. Confirmation that you are on the right path. Confirmation that the shift is real. Confirmation that your new life is no longer coming. It's here. But with this new beginning comes a choice. You can either trust the process or resist it. You can either step forward into the unknown or cling to the familiar. But understand this. The familiar is no longer safe for you. It may feel comfortable, but it cannot support your growth anymore. You were not meant to stay where you've been. You were meant to evolve, to rise, to step into something bigger, something deeper, something more aligned with your true purpose. And that requires courage. The kind of courage that says, even if I don't see the whole path, I trust where I'm being led. The kind of courage that lets go of control and embraces faith. Because where you are going, logic won't always make sense of it. But your spirit will. Your intuition will. That inner voice that has been getting louder and louder, that's your guide. And it's leading you somewhere powerful. Somewhere life-changing. So don't ignore what you feel right now. Don't brush it off as coincidence. Don't let doubt silence what your soul already knows. This is your moment. This is your shift. This is the beginning of everything you've been waiting for, even if you didn't realize it until now. And once it fully unfolds, your life will never look the same again. What you are about to step into is not ordinary, and not everyone is ready for it. This is not just another Monday. Something has already begun in your life. You can feel it, can't you? Even if you try to ignore it, even if you try to explain it away. There's something different in the air around you, something shifting beneath the surface of your life. It's subtle, but it's powerful. Quiet, but undeniable. And the truth is, this didn't start today. This has been building for weeks, maybe even months. Every time you felt like giving up but didn't, every time you were pushed to your limit and still kept going, every moment you felt alone, misunderstood, or overlooked, it was all part of something bigger. Something that is now beginning to reveal itself. April 7th and 8th are not ordinary days for you. They are a turning point. A divine interruption. A moment where the timeline of your life begins to shift in a way that you won't be able to ignore anymore. The patterns you've been stuck in, they're breaking. The weight you've been carrying, it's lifting. The version of you that struggled just to survive, it's being replaced. You are not who you were, and deep down you know it. That's why certain things no longer sit right with you. That's why your tolerance has changed. That's why you've started questioning things you once accepted without hesitation. You've evolved. But here's the part no one talks about. Evolution feels uncomfortable before it feels empowering. Because before you step into your new identity, your old identity has to fall apart. And that process, it can feel like everything is going wrong when in reality, everything is finally going right. You may have felt disconnected lately. Disconnected from people, disconnected from routines, even disconnected from parts of yourself. But that disconnection wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to wake you up. To show you that you've outgrown the life you were trying to hold on to. Because where you are going requires a different version of you. A stronger mindset, a deeper faith, a clearer sense of purpose. And that version of you has been forming in silence. While you were wondering why things felt slow, you were being rebuilt. While you were questioning your path was being redirected. While you were asking, why is this happening to me? The answer was already unfolding. This is happening for you. And now the shift is here. Not coming, not approaching, here. You may notice it in unexpected ways. A sudden urge to change your environment. A realization that you deserve more than what you've been settling for. A quiet confidence rising within you. Even if your outer world hasn't caught up yet. That's how it starts, internally. Before anything changes externally, something has to click inside of you. And once it does, everything else follows. This is the moment where your inner world begins to align with the life that's been waiting for you. But alignment requires release. You cannot carry old doubts into new blessings. You cannot hold on to fear and expect to walk fully in faith. You cannot keep one foot in your past and the other in your future. Something has to go. And yes, that might feel hard, because sometimes what you have to release isn't bad, it's just no longer meant for where you're going. Old relationships, old habits, old ways of thinking. They served a purpose once, but their time is up. And the sooner you accept that, the easier this transition becomes, because what's replacing it is far greater. This new era you're stepping into, it's different. It's not built on struggle. It's not fueled by survival mode. It's aligned with purpose, with clarity, with a deeper understanding of who you are and what you're here to do. And when you step fully into that, everything changes. You stop chasing. You start attracting. You stop forcing. You start allowing. You stop doubting. You start knowing. That's the power of this shift. It doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you. And when you change, your entire reality has no choice but to reflect it. But listen carefully. Not everyone will understand this transformation. Some people will question it. Some will resist it. Some will try to remind you of who you used to be. But you are not that person anymore. And you cannot shrink yourself just to make others comfortable. This journey was never about fitting in. It was about rising. About stepping into a calling that requires courage, faith, and trust, even when it doesn't make sense to anyone else. And right now, that calling is getting louder. You can feel it in your chest. You can hear it in your thoughts. You can sense it in the way your desires are shifting. Your priorities are changing. Your vision is expanding. You are being pulled towards something greater, something that will stretch you, challenge you, and ultimately transform you into the person you were always meant to be. So don't resist it. Don't run from it. Don't second guess what your spirit already knows. Lean into it, trust it, move with it. Because these next moments, these next days, they are setting the foundation for a version of your life that once felt impossible. And once it begins to unfold, there will be no denying it. What you are about to step into is not ordinary, and not everyone is ready for it. This is not just another Monday. Something has already begun in your life. And the reason you can't ignore this feeling is because it's real. It's not your imagination. It's not just emotion. It's not just another passing thought that fades away by tomorrow. No, this is deeper than that. This is something spiritual, something intentional, something that has been set into motion long before you even realized it. And now it's reaching you. You didn't just press play on this video. Something inside of you led you here, because there is a message your soul has been waiting to hear, a confirmation your spirit has been craving, and a truth you can no longer run from. Your life is shifting. Right now, not later, not eventually, not one day, now. April 7th and 8th are activating something in your life that cannot be reversed. A turning point that separates everything you've been from everything you're about to become. And whether you feel ready or not, it's already happening. That's why things have felt so intense lately. That's why your emotions have been stronger, your thoughts deeper, your awareness sharper. You've been sensing things differently, haven't you? Picking up on energy, noticing what feels right and what doesn't, feeling drawn towards certain paths, while others suddenly feel heavy, forced, or completely out of alignment. That's not random. That's awakening. You are becoming more aware of who you truly are. And when that awareness begins to rise, everything that doesn't match it starts to fall away. That's why certain connections feel distant now. That's why some conversations feel empty. That's why things you used to tolerate now feel unbearable. You're not too much. You're not overthinking. You're evolving. And evolution requires separation. Separation from what's familiar. Separation from what's comfortable. Separation from anything that keeps you tied to a version of yourself that you've already outgrown. And yes, that part can hurt. Because even when you know something isn't meant for you anymore, letting it go is never easy. But what you have to understand is this. You are not losing anything meant for your future. You are only releasing what cannot follow you into it. Because where you are going is different. This new era, it's not built on the same foundation as your past. It's not built on fear. It's not built on doubt. It's not built on settling for less than you deserve. It's built on truth, on clarity, on alignment with your purpose. And that kind of life requires a different version of you. A version of you that trusts more, that fears less, that moves with intention instead of hesitation. And that version is already waking up inside of you. You can feel it in the way you're starting to think differently, in the way your standards are rising, in the way you're no longer willing to accept what once felt normal. That's growth. That's transformation. That's the shift. But let's be real for a moment. Shifts like this don't come quietly. They shake things. They expose things. They force you to confront truths you've been avoiding. Because before you can step fully into your next level, everything false has to be removed. Every illusion, every lie you believed about yourself, every limitation you accepted as just the way things are, it all has to go. And that process, it can feel overwhelming. You might feel like you're losing control, like everything around you is changing too fast, like you're standing in the middle of something you don't fully understand. But listen carefully. You are not falling apart. You are being realigned. Everything that feels like chaos right now is actually divine order rearranging your life, putting things in their rightful place, removing what doesn't belong, making space for what does. And once this process settles, you're going to see things clearly in a way you never have before. You're going to understand why certain doors had to close, why certain people had to leave, why certain plans didn't work out the way you expected. Because what's coming is better than what you were trying to hold on to. But you have to trust it, even when it doesn't make sense, even when you can't see the full picture, even when it feels uncomfortable. Because this is the moment where faith becomes your foundation. Not logic, not control. Faith. The belief that even though you don't understand everything right now, everything is still working in your favor. That you are being guided, protected, positioned for something greater than you can currently imagine. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. Not everyone is going to make this shift with you. Not everyone is meant to walk into this next chapter of your life, because not everyone is aligned with where you're going. And that's okay. This journey was never about taking everyone with you. It was about becoming who you were called to be. Fully, unapologetically, without shrinking yourself to fit into places you've outgrown. And now that calling is undeniable. You feel it stronger than ever. That pull towards something more. That sense that your life is meant for something bigger, something deeper, something meaningful. You're not crazy for feeling that. You're chosen to rise above what once held you back. Chosen to step into a life that reflects your true purpose. Chosen to walk a path that requires courage, but leads to fulfillment. And that path is opening right now. So don't hesitate. Don't second guess. Don't let fear convince you to stay where it's safe but stagnant. Step forward, even if you're unsure, even if your voice shakes, even if you don't have all the answers yet. Because clarity comes after movement, not before. And once you take that step, everything will begin to align in ways that will leave you in awe. This is your moment. This is your shift. This is the beginning of a life you once prayed for, even if you forgot you prayed for it. And now that it's here, everything is about to change. What you are about to step into is not ordinary, and not everyone is ready for it.